Should women vote? I have a pretty good answer to this question, which is relevant for everyone regardless of your political stance or your take on feminism. So please listen carefully. Hello, it's Georgia. There have been a lot of comments scattered across my YouTube channel regarding this motion that have been really quite fascinating because they lead to offshoot topics such as, should there be an intelligence test to vote? Should net taxpayers be worth more as individuals when deciding policy with regards to where tax dollars are spent? Or are there certain categories of personal reasons that are more valid than others when deciding who to vote for? But I'm really not going to go into those topics today because there is one argument that kind of just stops me in my tracks and I've never been able to get past it, and that's what I wanted to talk about today. And it sort of makes all of these other arguments surrounding this topic kind of superfluous and secondary. Anyway, so the argument is that if we start giving power to a government to decide who votes, we are taking part in creating a monster that can do far worse to us than we could ever do to ourselves. In order to take away the rights of one particular group to vote, you have to, by definition, give the power to a government to decide what are the particular characteristics that are required for an adult to have a vote. That's a huge power grab and not one worth being naive about. Make no mistake, if we give up the rights of one group, we give up the rights of all. The actual problem that we have today, I believe, is that we've got this sort of mob rule that is sort of doing this kind of ethical bullying. Where one group's moral compass is imposed upon all. And that's the only answer, apparently. And this is widely seen with the sort of political correct feminist culture for everywhere, in the media, in the workplace, in the classroom, from kindergarten to universities, and I suppose if you're unlucky enough, in your bedroom too. As a solution, you might be tempted to just say, well, let's take away the rights of those individuals that form part of the group that we don't like. But that is not the answer. The answer is to turn your attention toward changing the body of government that is actually allowing the preferences of this majority to be enforced upon others in the first place. So basically, suppressing the suppressors in the way that they operate to suppress is not the answer, because you're just going to result in a greater tyranny against the individual. And I think what's happening is that the people whose views and ideas are in line with this sort of ethical bullying culture that we have, they don't see it. But you should never ever grow comfortable or be complacent about the fact that the ethics from above just happen to be in line with yours for the day, because they can change at any point for the negative, and what's more, that change is out of your control. States in the West have been growing in size every year, and also in reach upon our personal lives, into our personal lives, where it's pretty much safe to say that a democracy is just mob rule with income taxes, the military, and a permanent black armband. But to then be okay with the idea of giving the power to this monster to decide who can vote or holds other certain rights, I mean, that's not a great idea. And you really don't have to look far in a history book to find out why that's a bad idea. If you don't like a particular group that are defined by some non-modifiable demographic factor such as gender, skin color, or postcode, because of your dislike of one of their commonly held beliefs, but importantly not exclusively or universally held beliefs, then the less evil option is for you to either lobby directly against that group or against the government that is allowing them to impose upon you. Rather than handing to the government on a silver platter the power for them to decide the morality of the day and give up our better judgment as individuals forming a part of like a natural collective of morality. And further to that, if we do start treating all individuals first and foremost as a part of a group rather than as an individual, we're really going to be imposing upon individual motivation and sense of identity, and I don't think that's a great idea. And also because that's sort of like top-down enforced identity politics, and the idea of that makes me a little bit nauseous. And look, I'm not denying the fact that there are groups out there who have traits that I wish did not exist, and I wish they would shut up a little bit, but and I'm not denying the fact that I don't have an answer as to how we reverse what is already happening. All I know is that whatever is happening now is far less evil than if it would be something that the state could control with all its military and nukes.